Some statistics make you flinch. Here are a couple. 2 women are murdered by their partner or their ex-partner every week, and 1 in 5 women have experienced sexual assault. These are crime figures taken from the United Kingdom in recent times. And behind that lies a whole growing body of threatened violence in online communication towards women, some of which is extremely dark and hostile, and is surely representative of the degree of misogyny that we find around today, which wants to push women out of the public world and to tell them that their opinions don't count. This is completely unacceptable. Any kind of violence towards women in real life or online. We're joining up as a diocese to a campaign called the White Ribbon Campaign, which I want to commend to you today. This is a pledge that men can take never to commit violence against women. Now, you may think, listening to this, I couldn't agree more, that would be an awful thing to do, and that's good. But the pledge goes further than that. It asks men never to condone or remain silent when violence or threats of violence are made against women. And that's a harder challenge because you never know when that moment might come. And there are risks that we can flunk it, either because it's inconvenient to speak the truth, or perhaps because we're afraid also of what might happen to us if we speak the truth. There's a big story from the life of Jesus when a woman is hauled before him by a group of men who allege that she's committed adultery. And if she were to be found guilty, she would meet a very violent and terrible end. Here's this lone woman surrounded by a group of hostile men. But actually, she's not the target of the men. It's Jesus that they're concerned about. She's just a pawn to them in the game that they're playing with him, trying to get him to incriminate himself. And Jesus saves her life by holding up a mirror to the men, which basically says, "Let him who is without sin be the first to throw a stone." Now, we usually look upon this as a study in the vice of hypocrisy. But if you turn that mirror round, what you're seeing here is a group of hostile men about to commit an act of violence on a woman, and her life is saved because one man chooses to stand aside from those men to avert that violence. There's a philosopher called Edmund Burke who famously said, all it takes for evil to flourish is for good men to do nothing. Now, he said that a long time before inclusive language became the norm, but it kind of works today. All it takes for evil to flourish is for good men to do nothing. So I'd encourage all the men that I'm speaking to today to sign up to this pledge, not to commit acts of violence, to condone or excuse acts of violence towards women, and to help to create a world where kindness and equality and acceptance are love, are the cornerstones that witness to a greater world to come.